The call of Abraham. Long ago, in a land far away, there lived a man named Abraham. He was a kind and good-hearted person who loved to take care of his family and animals. One day, as the sun was setting, Abraham heard a gentle voice in his heart. It was God speaking to him. God said, "Abraham, I have a special plan for you. I want you to leave your home and go to a new land that I will show you." Abraham was surprised but excited. He trusted God and knew that this was an important journey. So, he gathered his wife Sarah and his nephew Lot, along with all their belongings and animals, and they set off on their adventure. As they traveled through different places, God guided Abraham. He promised Abraham that he would make his descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and that they would become a great nation. Abraham was overjoyed by this promise. But the journey wasn't always easy. There were times when Abraham and his family faced challenges and had to rely on their faith in God. They learned to trust in God's plan and to be patient. Abraham's story teaches us about trust, faith, and following God's call. He listened to God's voice and obeyed, even when it meant leaving behind everything he knew. God rewarded his faith by making him the father of many nations, just as he had promised. So, kids, remember that just like Abraham, God has a plan for each of us.
One hot day, as Abraham sat by his tent, he saw 3 strangers approaching. They were not just any strangers, they were special visitors sent by God. Abraham hurried to welcome them. He bowed before them and said, "Please rest under the shade of my tree. Let me bring you water to wash your feet and some food to fill your bellies." The visitors smiled and nodded. "Thank you, Abraham," they said. "We accept your kindness." Abraham rushed to his wife, Sarah, and said, "Quick, prepare a feast for our guests." He told his servants to fetch a young calf and cook a delicious meal. Sarah baked bread, and they gathered sweet fruits. While the food was being prepared, one of the visitors said, "Abraham, listen carefully. Next year your wife Sarah will have a baby son." Sarah overheard this from inside the tent and laughed joyfully, for she thought she was too old to have a baby. When the meal was ready, Abraham and Sarah served their guests. The visitors ate and blessed Abraham and Sarah. They said, "Abraham, because of your kindness, you and your family will be blessed. Your descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the sky." As the sun began to set, the visitors stood up to leave. Abraham walked with them to show them the way. One of the visitors said, "God has heard the laughter of Sarah. She will indeed have a son." Abraham felt amazed and grateful for the special visitors and their wonderful news. He waved goodbye as the visitors continued on their journey. Abraham knew that these visitors were messengers from God. He had learned that showing kindness to others brings blessings. And sure enough, just as the visitors had said, Sarah became a mother, and their family grew, just like the stars in the sky. And so the story of Abraham and his 3 special guests reminds us to be kind to everyone we meet, for you never know when you might be entertaining angels or messengers from above. They were very old and had no children, which made them sad. But one day, God came to Abraham and promised that he would have as many descendants as there were stars in the sky.
Abraham had a son named Isaac, whom he cherished dearly. Abraham and his wife Sarah had waited for many years before Isaac was born. He was their precious child, the fulfillment of a promise made by God himself. As Isaac grew, so did Abraham's love for him. One day, God tested Abraham's faith. He called out to him, saying, "Abraham." Abraham replied, "Here I am, Lord. Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you," God commanded. Abraham was deeply troubled by this command. How could he sacrifice his beloved son whom he loved dearly? Yet, he trusted in God's wisdom and purpose. Early the next morning, Abraham saddled his donkey, gathered wood for the sacrifice, and took Isaac with him, along with 2 servants. As they journeyed, Isaac noticed the wood and the fire but questioned his father about the absence of a sacrificial lamb. Abraham, with a heavy heart, replied, "God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son." Upon reaching the land of Moriah and the appointed mountain, Abraham built an altar and arranged the wood. He then bound Isaac, placing him on top of the wood. Isaac, although aware of the situation, trusted his father and the God they worshipped. As Abraham raised the knife to sacrifice his son, an angel of the Lord called out, "Abraham, "Abraham," he answered, "here I am. Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God. Seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me," the angel declared. Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. He took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering instead of his son. With immense relief, Abraham and Isaac worshiped God, grateful for his mercy and provision. The story of Abraham and Isaac's faith and obedience spread far and wide, serving as a testament to unwavering trust in God's will. God blessed Abraham abundantly for his loyalty and commitment. Years passed, and Isaac grew into a man, following in his father's footsteps in faithfulness and devotion to God. The bond between father and son remained unshakable, rooted in their shared experience on Mount Moriah. This tale of faith and sacrifice continues to be shared and remembered through generations, reminding people of the importance of trust, obedience, and the belief in the divine plan of the Almighty. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.